Welcome back to the Dr. Millennium podcast. I'm Dr. Millennium.
You know, you don't pay me enough.
I don't pay enough.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, this is like our 150th episode, and
This is actually our first episode of our new series.
Oh, we got a new series.
Our new series. We're gonna call it Sad People Reviewing Anime.
Sad People Reviewing Anime?
And you might not believe this, but it's actually gonna be about sad people reviewing anime.
But why are we sad, though?
I don't know. Why not?
Well,
We're millennials. Everybody's sad.
Well, we are. Well, that is true. But we're saddened because over the years we realized that some animes, if not probably 80% of the animes, just pretty much comes up with the same stories, the same.
Don't give spoilers away.
Oh, okay. We ain't gonna give spoilers, but shit. Go ahead.
Episode 1, to kick this off, My Hero Academia is pretty popular, so we're gonna discuss it. And our just to give you a little rundown of how this show is gonna work. We're going to just briefly go over the plot, and then we're going to talk about the areas that we're going to rate as far as character development, graphics and audio, which is going to be one category, because I feel like a good soundtrack or a really good art style could save a series. And then what we would personally do to make the series better. So I'll lead off. Just
okay.
the general plot of My Hero Academia, nothing too spoilery. from the wiki. Our story begins with the main character, an altruistic, slightly eccentric youth in a vibrant suit. This main character is upset because they are weaker than their peers and generally not accepted because of this weakness. Over the first arc, we see our main character slowly build relationships with others and develop an ability, which the viewer already ascertains is above the main character's peers. This ability remains out of control and yet untapped. Our main character undergoes a trial to begin higher learning that they initially fail but end up succeeding due to their propensity of helping others. A cast of characters is introduced with unique traits and powers, and a rivalry between the main character and an absurdly powerful classmate who is a character foil to our main character begins. It's clear from the outset that the rival character has the upper hand in controlling their ability. This main character and rival duo end up being tutored by an eccentric, seemingly lazy man with incredible power based on assuming control of the powers of their enemy. Eventually, a situation arises where this peer group is given the opportunity to participate in a series of challenges, culminating in a fight against one another in a series of one-on-one matches. After some hard-fought wins, our protagonist is put up against a mysterious, vicious opponent with spiky red hair and total control over an element. The match goes on far longer than expected because the main character is expected to lose, and during the fight, this mysterious opponent comes to terms with their daddy issues and ultimately comes to respect and befriend our main character. Meanwhile, our protagonist learns that their ability comes at the cost of their own well-being and health. They go off and train with an old hermit who, as it stands, taught their mentor. The old hermit is the most eccentric character introduced yet, but incredibly helpful in getting the protagonist's abilities under control. In the background of our story, a group of villains are slowly working towards their goal of abducting our rival character. Eventually, after an unexpected sneak attack, the injured protagonist and his friends have to chase after the rival to prevent him from being abducted by the group of villains, lest the rival become one of them. Ultimately, the protagonist fails to do so and falls into a depression. But not for long, as our hero is going to save his friend and become the next Hokage. Oh, fuck. That's the Naruto. I'm sorry. Become the next superhero.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sorry. This sounds like 20 different, anime plots, which are pretty much the fucking same.
It's literally also the plot of Naruto.
It's the same?
It's this plot, every point for point. It's the same fucking story.
So which one are we... I'm so confused. Look, the fucking plots are the same.
We're reviewing the one with the guy in the green suit.
Oh, okay.
The guy in the green suit.
Be specific.
And where the mysterious character also has half of his hair is white.
Shit, man. Okay, so half is
white, half is red.
Half is
not
red.
all red.
Okay.
That's the sand guy. That's a different anime.
Who's not depressed like Gaara, which is...
No, he's still depressed, and it's over daddy issues, but it's...
Oh, okay.
He deals with them by becoming more like his dad, whereas Gaara deals with him by completely cutting his family off and taking the place of his dad. It's totally different. It's totally different. Ask any fan of My Hero Academia. It's a completely different story.
All right. Because I'm just saying, if it was the same, it's just like...
Yeah, that would be ridiculous.
What? So now that we've discussed the plot...
Yes.
And we pretty much... for the plot for 25 of the same fucking show.
The plot for at least the main two.
Okay.
I love it because if you ever go on any kind of animate anything and point out that My Hero Academia and Naruto are the same thing, you will get reamed. But they're the same fucking story.
Oh, especially when it comes to fanboys and like life.
Oh my god! And the rival character getting abducted by an enemy group. I mean, come on, it's the same thing.
It's the same.
If you watch the fight between Green Naruto and Toyodoki, the fire and ice guy, it's the same thing as the fucking Chunin exams.
Oh no, of course,
the same thing. And anybody who says otherwise is dumb.
Can you not say this so people won't get triggered? Do you know how much you're hurting their feelings? You should have used something less severe. Stupid.
We're gonna. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're gonna move on to our first point of actual critique, which is character development. I'm gonna let you go with that one.
So the main character,
Green Naruto,
or
Midoriya, or Deku, or Deku, or Diku, however people. I've heard it pronounced all different ways.
So the way I look at this, and this is my personal opinion, Midori, he's what I would consider anime fanboys are. Like, I don't have that much luck with like any type of
I would hold off on that because I think that's applicable to a lot of different storylines where they're trying to capture a certain type of personality.
And it's just like catching a certain audience. And the audience that you're catching is someone who really tries their best, but no matter how much they try, it's just not enough.
So, Naruto.
And 20 other 5,000 different fucking animes.
Right.
But let me say this.
Go ahead.
His character, I did somewhat respect in a way because he does exhibit what you think a hero would be. Like, he comes out and he's running, and he doesn't like bitch and complain. See, the thing about Naruto was like, oh my god, I'm just like this emo kid, and I'm just like really fucking depressed, and blah 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 blah. The thing is, Midori, he got shitted on just as much as Naruto did. But he wasn't in like the gutter and was just like, oh my god, I'm just gonna sit here depressed, or I'm just gonna like prank people just to have fucking attention.
Well,
no, what he did was,
to be fair, we are discussing My Hero Academia.
Yeah, but
so we'll stop comparing it to Naruto.
We'll
we already know it's the same thing, so we'll do a Naruto discussion.
But I'm just saying, the difference-wise, the way I'm looking at this, Midoriya is more of that character that literally doesn't make excuses. He's just like, I'm not gonna make fucking excuses. This is the way I'm gonna do this, and there's a wall over there, I'm gonna smash my head against it, and I'm gonna have a smile on it, which leads to the other person, his mentor, All Might. Now, All Might's character, I think is phenomenal. I really, truly believe All Might's character is this force that's like a 600-pound behemoth man.
I do like that they give him weaknesses, too. They make him real. Like, he's the strongest guy ever for about 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes, and
like
it's limited. And because he's injured, which a lot of animes don't do this.
Shanks.
Well, Shanks does this.
There's a lot of animes where the mentor is not at their peak because of reason.
But the question is, when you look at the way the shows get, and we don't want to go off on a tangent and start like comparing this, but the thing that the other animes do is they're injured, but they're not really limited. They're like, oh, well, I can't like split an ocean in half, but I could probably split a mountain in half. It'll be something.
My Hero Academia falls into that, where it's like the power level is where they need it to be at any given point in time. If All Might needs to lose for the plot, he'll lose. But if he needs to win for the plot, he can. I'm gonna pull it off for 5 more seconds. You know what I mean? They bullshit it. They do ass pulls.
They do ass pulls for that. But for my personal opinion, the way they have that limiter on him, that 5-minute mark, I truly like this. And knowing like I have to mentor this kid because eventually I'm not gonna exist anymore. And if people see later in the manga, and this is spoiler, and this is spoiler if you don't want to read because I read deep in the manga. But
just
for me,
stick with Show Current. Show Current, bad kid just got abducted.
Okay, bad kid just got abducted, and you see All Might's power just like dissipating over time throughout like the shows, and it's gonna even get worse as time goes on.
Well, yeah.
So I like All Might's character. What's that fire and ice kid? I forgot his name.
Toriyaki or something.
Toriyaki, yeah. Him. It's just like some generic ass. I'm gonna be exactly what you brought up. I'm gonna be the opposite of my dad, but you know what I'm gonna fucking do? I'm gonna do the same shit he fucking does.
I'm gonna tutor under him, and he does. I mean. Here's how I see it. As far as character development goes, the way I view it is, does a character change in some way that isn't, 1, physical change, 2, getting a new ability? Is there something else beyond that? There's a lot of examples I can think of where that's the only character progression. I think probably the most notable example is Dragon Ball Z. Goku is the same goofy idiot who likes fighting from Dragon Ball Episode 1 to Dragon Ball Super Episode 120. He's the same person. He just gets new abilities and new powers. I think Midoriya, for the most part, stays pretty consistent. Like, he physically gets stronger. He develops his ability.
And he learns from his mistakes.
What mistakes? The only thing that's happened that has changed his outlook on life is the guy that was a dick to him his whole life gets abducted and he feels like he failed.
I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about in general for learning how to fight, because this is why I like Midoriya. Let me just say this. This is why I like Midoriya. Midoriya, when he first is learning to use the ability, all might's like, oh damn, you can't even use 1% of my power. He'll like flick his like thumb, and then he realizes, wow, my thumb.
That's a new ability.
Well, I'm just saying, in general, he like has to recover and then learn. Okay, I can't keep on doing this. Now that I have this new ability, I'm gonna sustain this and see if I can sustain this with my body physically for a duration. But it won't be like a new ability for a while with Midoriya. It's like, okay, I can launch super attacks with my fingers, but only up to like 4 times, and I have to be smarter on how I do it.
And he can't do it because even if he does it, it fucks up his fingers.
Exactly, and,
like,
he learns.
His body is getting destroyed by his ability. Mm-hmm. So he's not learning. He's not adjusting himself in any way. He is just, well, rather than use my ability like this, I'm going to use it like this. That's not a character developing and growing. He's still idolizing heroes and wanting to be the best hero, and that's fine. That's a nice character arc for him. Is I want to be the hero, but like, let
me just say this for my point of view, and this is just my opinion.
Sure.
I think that my character development, like the way I view it, okay, has the character learn from his mistakes in terms of strategic battles.
So do they change their strategy? Every character does that. Every show ever, every character adjusts to the situation, unless they lose.
Debatable, because of course we're huge Dragon Ball Z fans. You got someone like Goku that's like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna keep on like.
I'm gonna do 2 Kamehamehas now.
No, but that didn't work. I'm gonna do 3. Maybe
I'll
4.
do an even bigger Spirit Bomb this time. No, but I think for Midoriya, it was, well, if I use my whole arm gets broken. I'll just use my finger. Oh, well, now my finger gets broken. He's not doing anything different. He's still attacking with a power he can't control. He's just doing it a little bit more cleverly. He's still the same, kind of like stupidly eager kid who wants to come out and be the best hero. He hasn't like tempered his expectations at all. He hasn't changed at all. He hasn't adapted at all. And now I know he like the most current episode, he's like sunk into a depression, and I think there's been an episode or 2 since then I just haven't watched. But his whole character is about, I want to save as many people as possible. I want to become a great hero. It never dawns on him that like, hey, maybe some of the heroes are dicks. Maybe they don't know what they're doing. Like, he just has that same naivety, and it hasn't. His character, his personality hasn't taken a
I can agree on that. I can agree on that, but for strategies, and I think he's learned from his mistakes. For me personally, I think he's learned from his mistakes.
He's learned how not to kill himself.
Yeah, and that in itself is a change, and that's why I can respect Midoriya's because at least he knows if he's headstrong, which that's what his character is based on, is just being a headstrong character. He still realizes okay, I'm gonna die if I keep on doing this. So we might have different opinions on that. I think Midoriya,
I mean, I agree with you. His strategy adapts.
Yeah.
To what is going to keep him from dying. But I don't think that means he as a character is developing. I think that means his power is developing. Because even the mentor, he doesn't change the way he does. And you know what? If Midoriya's only attack is going to be, I'm just going to be super strong and punch things hard, I'm totally fine with that. I have no problem with that being his ability and his things. But I want his personality. I want something, like, you figure he gets with all these dudes who have deep psychological issues, and they're telling him about all their concerns and everything. It doesn't even faze him. Mm-hmm. I would respect the show a lot more if, Stain is talking to him and I fucking hate heroes because this, and this, and they do this, and they're corrupt and all this, and maybe it hits him a little bit. Even not outright. It doesn't have to change the story, but maybe a scene of him laying in bed thinking man, what if? Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing.
Now,
have a little bit of that temptation, a little bit of that, maybe I'm wrong.
If I had to rate this for the character before we move on to the second part. I'd have to give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I think overall with the characters, the way they feed off of each other in a way, I think it's like there's balance there.
Do any of the side characters develop in your opinion?
What's that bomb kid's name?
Rival.
He's a shitty character, and that's why that's the only one I will say that kind of brings my rating, because for him he's just I'm an asshole. I'm a bully to Midoriya, and yeah, I still hate you, even though we went through a lot of battles together. So I just think I don't know why they'd add him in there. It's just,
man, you know what? I have the exact opposite thoughts of you as this one as well, because I think Bakugo is his name. I think
Bakugo, okay, yeah,
or whatever.
Baku, I think.
Baku, whatever. So this kid, he starts out as like a cocky asshole. I'm better than everybody. I'm the best. Fuck you. I'm the best. I got an awesome power. I can make shit blow up by sweating on it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. All of a sudden, he learns he's not king shit of Fuck Mountain. Like, he's actually kind of weak in comparison to some of these other fighters, or like, he's on par with their strongest in the class. Like, it's not him on the top of the mountain and everybody else like climbing to reach his level. It's him, Midoriya, Toyaraki, and like some of the others are all on the same page, and I think it's got him scared. And I'm reading a lot into it, but I think him going to the villain side, like I think it's gonna sway him, and he's gonna become a bad guy, and that will show character development. I mean, that's a character changing and developing. So I would not shit on your 7 out of 10 rating. I would say maybe 5. I don't rate things with numbers. I'll do my rating at the very end.
Okay.
But I would say Bakugo actually would bring my character development rating up a little bit. So.
Oh my god,
So
I'm just gonna
clearly-
be mad. I have fiery anger like every other fucking anime character, so you know.
No,
I'm just
the abilities in My Hero Academia are weak sauce, but I think what they do with the characters is what's gonna make or break it.
Pretty much, both we can definitely agree on that. So
This should be a quick section: graphics and audio.
graphics and audio, I think the graphics are actually great for this show, in my personal opinion. Especially with that Namu and All Might fight, I think that was fantastic.
I mean, as far as this goes, it's a superhero thing, so the bright colors and the cartoony style fit it. So yeah, audio I don't really pay much attention to. So yeah, I agree. It's
If I had to give up,
pretty confident.
solid 8.
Yeah,
honestly, 8 out of 10.
I wouldn't shit on that opinion either. Now for the interesting part, what would you do to make this show better?
You want to take a crack at this first?
Oh, are you gonna give me that power? Because
oh yeah, go ahead. I'll let you take a crack at this first.
all right, I think in order to improve My Hero Academia, first off, stop aping Naruto. Naruto was a competently done, fun little thing about ninjas. We don't need to see it again. I mean, I understand they're taking the source material and honestly they're elevating it a little bit, because parts of My Hero Academia well outdo the bullshit that was in Naruto. However, I think it needs to go its own route. I like the idea. I mean, there's only so many things you can do with a story about superheroes and supervillains. Obviously, there's got to be a big league of evil guys, and there's got to be, a rival character who falls. I like that aspect of it, but I think rather than seeing him go through his training at the university, I don't really care about all of that. Like, I think the idea of a superhero academy is kind of stupid. I wish it was a story about, like, almost like more of an X-Men thing, where All Might comes across Midoriya, gives him his power, and now Midoriya is in, like, this X-Men group, where rather than everybody kind of learning and honing their abilities, everyone kind of knows what they're doing a little bit, and they're trying to teach Midoriya how to become one of them. I think it would be more fun to watch
students teaching students in a sense, or at least
not
older
even students. But
yeah.
Heroes, like contracted heroes, teaching this newbie how to get into their game.
I actually, that is not bad. Now that's a different perspective that you brought up. That's not bad.
And if you wanted to do the Hero Academy, do more of like and I don't know what to even compare this to, but focus exclusively on the academy. I don't care what's going on outside of it. Like, focus on, like, make it almost like a slice of life for a little while, where it's just their day-to-day lives and like what it's like in super running class and what it's like in super learning class. Like, give us a really in-depth look at it so that when shit happens to the school, we care.
And for me, I definitely agree with like those points that you brought up. I'm gonna go a little bit opposite.
Okay.
I wish they would, like with Boku, with the bomb kid.
Yeah.
I wish they would make like a villain type of school. And even if it's not a villain type of school, maybe, like you said, it's like contract, like villains on payroll teaching Baku, like, hey, you want to know something? These are probably why your heroes are crappy and shit, because they're unrealistic. And let me show you what
like
the real world.
Do like a two story at once situation where you have
Similar like that,
Deku
yeah.
going through the hero
And then you have Baku
apprenticeship and Baku going through the villain apprenticeship.
I think that would be really cool to show different perspectives, and it also, when we discussed earlier, bringing both perspectives to show like this is heroes, and then the villains are like, well, you guys really aren't perfect.
There's another anime I want to discuss that does that really well. It basically has two guys. They were under the same mentor, and they kind of go their own route, and the finale is them fighting, and it's not a very action-packed thing, but that final fight has so much dramatic build-up to it. And I think, My Hero Academia, if they wanted to do like not like a bullshit shonen where they have, I'm going to have 300 chapters of this at least. Like a Naruto or a Bleach or a One Piece.
That bullshit.
Yeah, or Hunter x Hunter. It's just a smaller kind of, maybe 70 chapter series.
Now they're adults.
Yeah.
Now they're their own contractors, and we can see.
Maybe watch them raise somebody up. Yeah. Exactly.
And it goes to that, and it won't get boring because now you could see a new generation of like heroes going in. So that's what I think they could definitely try to improve. Because the problem that I have with it is when you look at the villain side of it, you don't know much about the villain side, and that's my knock for the show.
Really?
Like they'll look at the villain side and they'll say, oh, they're bad guys, but like, why are they bad guys?
I think they did okay with Stain. They were just like, oh yeah, he hates heroes because he sees heroes getting. I was okay with that. I'm okay with mysterious villains.
But I'm not just talking about the mysterious villains. I'm talking about in general with the villains. Like, I wish they would show their perspective.
And I think they will. I think that's something that they're building up to. I'm okay with the mysterious villains for the point this show is at right now. The villains being like, ooh, I mean, if they never explain it, and it's something like.
And the reason why I say that is because I read further in the manga, so I don't want to make spoilers, but you know.
But they don't explain it. Okay. Well, that would be shitty for me because I agree. When you introduce a character who's stronger than our main character, but we don't know why or how, just he's stronger. Okay, fuck you. Like, spoiler, Jiren.
Hey.
Oh, he's stronger because.
Hey, stop it. Stop it.
What's his
Stop
talent?
it.
What does he do?
Oh my god.
How does he?
You're acting like
Dude, stop choking me. Dude, stop. But anyway, give us your final overall impression of My Hero Academia. What would you rate it? How would you review it?
Oh, I would solid 7 out of 10. I just think they really need to do minor adjustments, but I think that overall the show, it has great characters, and the way the manga is putting it piecing it together. The only reason why I give it a 7 out of 10, actually no, 7.5. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Oh. I would have given it a 9 out of 10 if they just made the villains more, if they just would have made it more of like part of the plot. I just feel they focus a little bit more on the heroes, and they should have focused more on the villains.
Okay, you want more bad guys. That's,
yeah, just to have a balance.
But you understand that's you.
Well, I'm just saying. Overall,
I know, and we're rating it for your
for my preference.
But I'm saying,
but I think
most people don't give a shit about the villains.
And the problem, well, most people who don't fucking give a shit about the villains or other parts of the fucking show are fucking assholes that watch Sword Art Online.
Sure.
Yeah. I just want to say one person, and we'll review on that one as well.
Well, my overall rating of the show, I'm not going to give a numeric value because numeric values are stupid. The way I'm going to review anime is, would I recommend it to myself? If I could go back in the past before I watched this show and say, no, you're wasting your time, or, hey man, this is pretty good, check it out. My Hero Academia, what I'd tell myself is, hey, it's Naruto, but a different color palette and a little bit better. Give it a look if you really want to. I don't know, I wouldn't recommend it to myself, but I wouldn't say no. I mean, you've got a couple hours of free time, want to watch it in the
and the
background
shows
while
aren't
you're
too
doing
long
dishes.
either.
Yeah, like it's something I can be doing dishes and have on in the background and not really miss anything because you know all the beats because you've seen it before.
Yeah. So I think that wraps it up.
Yeah.